Welcome, Super Smarties. Let the learning begin. I will bet when we are through, I will be able to recognize money by its shape, size, whether it's a coin or a bill, and its value. Recognize the months of the year by season and name. Identify the numbers starting at one point and ending at another, dropping into the count sequence. Identify the vowels by names and sound, short and long sound. And identify placement of an object by location. I'll also be able to talk about opinion writing and write about my own opinion. Recognize what yesterday was, what today is, and what tomorrow will be. And also identify the days of the week in order. So today's the next day of the week. Sunday is the first day, Saturday is the last day. Those are the bookends. The weekends, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are the weekdays, days of the week for school and for work. Now yesterday, we were in the middle of the week, hump day, right in the middle, like on a roller coaster, all the way up at the very top, and it's all down from there. So Wednesday, and remember, a lot of people pronounce it wrong. They say Wednesday, and really it's Wednesday. Wednesday. So make sure you enunciate. That means you say it very clearly so you can be understood. And when you write it, you can remember all the sounds that need to be included. Otherwise, you're going to leave out the D. Wednesday. Wednesday. It's going to sound like there's no D in it. Wednesday. All right, so if yesterday was Wednesday, probably what we need to do is start with yesterday. So yesterday was, we know we have that information that it was the middle of the week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's one point that's right in the middle. When there's an odd number, one gets left out. Has to cry and pout because it gets left out. And that one that gets left out determines where the midpoint is. So there's a midpoint in the week. So if we use our schema, what we already know, we can figure out what we don't yet know. So yesterday, we're going to use red, and I think today I have my red pen working. So let's frame it out. It's in the past. Stop. That's already behind us. Yesterday was Wednesday. And I'm looking at the first letter, and it starts with a W. Nope, that's an S. Nope, that's an M. Nope, that's a T. Yes, that's a W. And I know there's only one day of the week that has W, so I don't even need to go on to check. Even if I didn't know what the names of these letters were, when I know what the shape of the letter is, it can help me transfer that information. So I'm going to use everything that I know to figure out what I don't yet know. I'm going to frame out Wednesday. So yesterday was Wednesday. So if I go to my chart, I see Wednesday, and right behind that is Thursday, the TH day. So I know that today is in the present. It's green, it's with us. So I'm going to frame out the green. Today is, and this is present tense. Now, I'm looking for the T and the H, but I don't have to go word by word, letter by letter. I can go to the top where I see Wednesday, follow it down where I see the next Wednesday, and then move forward one day. And it should have a T and an H, and it does. And I check it with my chart. This is a smart chart. I'm using my smart brain to access the information that I need to know. So I'm relying on tools. You can use anchor charts, smart charts, information that you already know in your smart brain that you can just pull out with automaticity. But how I find new information is by anchoring back to my old information, what I already know. So if yesterday was Wednesday, today is Thursday, I'm going one day down, one more day, and it starts with an F. And Friday is the last day of the school week and the work week. And we're going to mark that with yellow crayon. But since yellow crayon won't work on my whiteboard, I'm going to use yellow paper. So tomorrow, it's in the future. Wait, it's coming. Not here yet. Will be Wednesday was yesterday. Thursday's today. Friday. Now today is Thursday. And I want to make sure that I remember the difference between Thursday and Tuesday. So while you're not going to write this, you're going to find it on your board. I wanted to write it so I could draw attention to the T and the H. Remember, that's a digraph, like thumb. Voice motor's off. It's only air pushed out. But the T and the H don't say t, they say. So Tuesday has a T and a U. Thursday has a T and an H. So when you're looking in your book, make sure you don't stop with just a T. Make sure there's an H for Thursday. Then there's a UR. This is the of turkey. When we spell turkey, it's UR. Thurs. And S is stealing the sound from Z in this word. It's not saying S. And day. The chunk day is in every single day of the week. And it's spelled with a D, an A, and a Y. Now, Monday on our Munster page, when we're doing our zone check-in, Monday is green, Tuesday is yellow, Wednesday is blue, Thursday is orange. It looks like my orange has died, so I'm not going to frame this out with orange, and I don't want to use red. But you're going to take your orange crayon and just go run a line underneath it and run a line underneath opinion. Now let's move to the other side of our board. Here you see opinion writing. And what opinion means is this is what you think based on what you know. Let's try this one. Yeah, it actually works. So for today, for Thursday, we're going to do opinion writing. Your opinion is just how you feel and what you think based on your life experience and your preference. Now, sometimes an opinion can be validated by research, which makes it a stronger opinion. But you might have an opinion about something that you like to eat or something that you like to wear. And it's not right or wrong. It's just what you think and how you feel. But when we're writing, we want to defend it and give a reason for it. Because when we look at an argument, and I don't mean people going, fighting with each other. I mean trying to defend a position and convince someone else to believe what you believe for the reasons that you believe it because you think it's stronger and makes more sense and you want other people to think that too. So in an opinion paper, when you're writing, you want to use research. So we learn by stating our opinion about things that we like now while we're little. And then when we get bigger, we state what we think and what we like based on what we've learned, what we've read, what we've heard, who we've been influenced by, the people who tell us things that we value, and we think that makes sense to us too. So since this orange is working, I'm going to run it underneath the Thursday, so, or you can kind of shade over it. So when you have an opinion, you take one thing and you compare it to something else. So things like, let's just say cookies and cake. Cookies are better than cake because they're crunchy. Cakes are better than cookies because they're soft and spongy. Now, because I have Sock Monkey helping me today, I'm going to write about my monkey. So I might say, monkeys, and this is the first letter of the first word of a complete sentence, so it has to be capitalized. Monkeys are cuter, I think, than snakes. Because they have little tails, long curly tails. I'm going to put that. And a snake doesn't really have a tail. A snake kind of is a tail. Because they have long curly tails. Now, that's just my opinion. You might like snakes better because they're scaly or they're pretty or they slither or they have tongues or they hiss. Monkeys kind of go, ee. They're kind of annoying if they keep making that noise. It's true, it's true. Now, I have my meaning in the words that I just wrote, and this is just my opinion. You don't have to share my opinion, but I did embed a fact. I put a fact in there. I wrote about his tail. That's the reason I think they're cuter, is because they have little tails. They also look kind of soft, like you could pet them, and they seem kind of like humans, like they seem kind of like children. So I think they're cuter because they look like little tiny furry kids. That's what I think. And snakes look a little bit scary, like they would slither up and bite you. But that might not be your opinion. So if you take a little bit of a fact and you put it in to your sentence and you state what it is that you prefer over something else, why you prefer it, you've now stated your opinion. Then what you're going to need to do is carry the message here. So this is the meaning. This has my message, yes, but it's also the meaning. So I want to have my message up here in my picture. So I'm going to make my little sock monkey. I'm going to put him with a tree. And then I got to make sure I see his tail, because I said his tail, so the thing that's most important. In my meaning here, I said he has a long curly tail. So I want to make sure that I show his long curly tail, because that makes sense in my message. That's what the meaning of my sentence is. Excellent. So now while I'm holding up Sock Monkey, what I want to talk about is places Sock Monkey could be. So here's a marker. Here's my marker, and here's my monkey. If I was to describe to you where my monkey is, I would say Sock Monkey is next to the marker. He's next to the marker. He could be next to it on either side. Let's just say that I took my eraser, and I put my eraser right here, and I put Sock Monkey right there. Now, if I wanted to describe where Sock Monkey was, I would say Sock Monkey is under the eraser. Can you find something near you and put it next to something else and use the words next to? If you have a Sock Monkey, that's great. Can you find something near you and put it under another object? Now, if I took my camera, my picture of my camera, and I put Sock Monkey here, I could say Sock Monkey is over my camera. He's jumping. Let's have him jump. He's jumping over my camera. He's over my camera. Can you find an object and put it over another object? Or you could jump over the object. Now, I could take Sock Monkey and I could take my number 1. And I could say Sock Monkey is beside the number 1. Next to and beside. Next to and beside. Those can be synonymous with each other, but there's different words. So put something beside you, or take two objects and put them beside each other, or go sit beside someone else in your house. Now let's just say that Sock Monkey, I have my behavior choices, green, positive good ones, and red. And I was holding these up, and Sock Monkey was trying to decide what choice he was going to make. Is he going to make a green choice, or is he going to make a red choice? Now my Sock Monkey is in between. He's in between my two choice bands. Red, not the choices we want to make, and green, good choices we do want to make. And Sock Monkey is in between. I want you to get something and put it in between two other objects. Now I have all of my markers right here. If I were to take the markers out of this pail and I were to put Sock Monkey here, where would you say Sock Monkey is? Sock Monkey is in the pail. He's in the pail. Can you put something in something else? Put a toy in a toy box. Put a piece of cereal in a bowl. If I turned my pail over and I set Sock Monkey here, Sock Monkey is now on the pail. On the pail. Can you put something on something else? You also could put yourself on a chair, on the bed. Thanks, Sock Monkey. Now in your paper, in your green folder, you're going to do your calendar. Remember, you're going to log the month. We don't do it up here, but you are going to do it in your journal. So the first month of the year is January. Say January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 12 months in a year. Now on our chart, we have the vowels A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. Now the vowels are nestled with all the other letters. These are all letters, but what's special about these is they're a different kind of letter. All the plain black ones are consonants. All the ones that are covered in red are vowels. Now vowels sit like kind of creamy filling in the cookie sandwich of all the words. Some make only two sounds, but most make more than two. But the short sound in each of these is A for A, E for E, I for I, O, A for O, A for U. A, hat, apple, bat, cat. Hen, egg, elephant, nest. Bib, fish, zipper, pin. Sock, top, fox, clock. Drum, cup, bus, rug. Those are words that have the short sound. Hear how it just comes out and then disappears? That's short. When I make it, it's short. But those vowels also make what's called a long sound. And the long sound is their name. When they come into words, they have to have a second vowel behind them, giving over all their power, making them long and strong to say their name. A, E, I, O, U. See how the line is long? Because the sound stretches out. A, E, I, O, U. And we're not including Y on these because these are our 5 standard vowels. Y is an exception when it's acting as a vowel. That means it doesn't usually act like a vowel. A, ape, vase, train, hay. E, bee, zebra, tree, queen. I, kite, bike, pie, lion. O, boat, goat, yo-yo, hippo. U, mule, cube, flute, unicorn. And each of these vowels has a second vowel, either right next to it or separated between with a consonant in between, just like Sock Monkey was in between my two color choices. You can pause the tape and try writing these letters and writing some of the words. Draw the picture and identify the words on a whiteboard or a piece of paper to help you get flexible and fluid with those sounds as well. Now when we count, it's important to be able to count by ones from 0 to 100 and beyond. It's also important to be able to count by fives from 0 to 100 and beyond. It's also important to be able to count by tens from 0 to 100 and beyond. Additionally, as a learner, as a mathematician, we also want to be able to just drop in on the chart and count from one point to another. So if I wanted to count to 59 but I didn't want to start all the way at 0. Let's say I wanted to start at 42. I'm not going to say all the numbers up to 42. I'm just going to start at 42. I'm going to stop at 59. So let's do that together. I have to find 42, 4 in the tens place, 2 in the ones place. 42. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and a 2. 42. 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Sweep back. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. This is why it's so important to know the hump numbers where we jump the decades. Because if we're just going to drop in on the chart, drop in on the number line, and start counting from one point to another, we have to very fluidly and flexibly know how to bridge over from 110 to the next and not have to count all the way from 0 down, because higher math is going to require us to know words for the numbers in the middle, at the beginning, at the end, very flexibly. So we have to be practicing our counting and trying it in lots of different ways that stretch our brain and help us build compressions. Now let's say I wanted to count to 19, but not from 0. I wanted to start at 6. 6 is a single digit number, so I know I'm not going to come down here because it's not going to have 2 digits. And everything from this point on has 2 digits. So it's 6. So I'm going to look carefully. Here's the 6, and I want to count to 19. I don't count any of the numbers before. I find the 6, put my finger on it, and count on. Moving forward. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sweep back. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It's a little easier when we start with the smaller numbers. It gets a little more challenging when we move to the higher numbers, but this is something I want you to play a lot with your family. You can take number cards and pick up one and then pick up another, and then you can say, I'm going to count from this point to this point. So it can be a fun game that your brain does frequently. You're teaching your eyes to look at the number, your brain to think about the numbers, whether you hear them or see them, and be able to locate them on a chart and then flexibly in the chart that you hold in your head in order, so you can count from one point to another. We'll use this with addition and subtraction. The counting back will be later, but we're going to count forward now, which would be addition. This and this many more move us from one point to another that's higher. So let's try going to 100, but let's go from 95. So I'm going to look for the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 9, but that's 9 and a 1. So I'm looking for 9 and a 5. Here's the 9 and the 5. So I'm going to start at 95 and stop at 100. 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Now on this video, we're doing it just 3 times. But what I want you to do is try it many, many, many other times on an anchor chart with number cards, just from your own smart brain, and play with someone, a home support provider, a big brother, sister, grandma, grandpa, babysitter, mama, daddy, someone who can help you think and listen to make sure that you're doing it accurately and correctly. Now, one of the things that's really important in our economy is money. And you've seen money. It's important for you to understand the value of money, not just because one day you'll make some and spend it. And you should understand that value because right now your parents work so hard for it and you spend it so easily, right? But also because it correlates. That means it's connected to how we count. This is called a penny. It's worth 1 cent. And on the front is Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to put my penny right up here. And when we count by ones, we could use pennies to count by ones. Now the next coin that I have is bigger than a penny in both value and in size. This is called a nickel. It's 5 cents. Now the president on this is called Thomas Jefferson. On our money we say those are our dead presidents because they all have pictures of presidents who aren't alive anymore. So we have Abraham Lincoln 1 cent, we have Thomas Jefferson 5 cents. Now what's interesting is the next coin. See this one? This one is 10 cents. What's odd is 10 is more then 5 and 1. But look at the size of the coin. It's actually smaller than both of those, which seems kind of silly. If it's worth more, why isn't it bigger? I didn't make up the money. And the president on this is Dwight D. Eisenhower. So we have 1 cent, 5 cent, 10 cents, just like we count by ones, by fives, and by tens. So we can use money to count. And then we can learn the value of the money when we add them together and we need to spend money and you have coins. Right now we have a shortage of coins. But when you find some coins, this is the value that they have. Now the next one has George Washington on it. It's worth 25 cents. It looks similar to a nickel, which sometimes it makes it hard for you to tell the difference between a quarter and a nickel, so you have to look close and compare them. You don't see this very often. This is John F. Kennedy, and it's a $50. It's worth 50 cents. So when we're counting, we can count by ones, by fives, by tens, by 25s, and by 50s. And there are dollars, but they're really actually quite small, and you don't find them very frequently, and they are super easy to lose and to spend like quarters. So we're not going to be looking at those because they're not frequently seen. Now, if you don't have coins, you can also use paper money. And paper money comes in different denominations. That means different value. These are plastic, but actual paper money is all made out of the same paper. But what's different about the value is what's printed on it. This is George Washington, just like he's on the quarter. This is a dollar bill, and this is worth 100 pennies. So you could make this amount of 100 by adding all of these either together or separately by fives, by tens, by 25s, by 50s. The next is a $2 bill, but those aren't very common either. Usually people save them. Miss Jennifer in the office collects them. Her grandma used to give them to her when she was little. A $5 bill is the next standard denomination. And then comes a $10 bill. See, look, 1 cent, $1. 5 cents, $5. 10 cents, $10. Here's where it's going to get tricky. The next one is not a $25 bill. It's a $20 bill. After that is a 50. So there is a 50, but there's no 25. And then a $100 bill. And these are the standard denominations that you're going to see in the money that your family uses. So it's really important that we learn their value, and we use them as counters in kindergarten, and to also learn the value of a dollar, because it's going to be very important that you make some, because you're going to need to spend them on everything that you need and all the things that you want as well. So today for our Mindshift, what we're going to do is we're going to do blowing bubbles. Now you can use actual real bubbles, or you can just imagine that you're blowing the bubbles, putting the wand in, and blowing it out. So you don't need real bubbles. If you have them, it's more fun, but your mom might not want you to blow them in the house. So when you use real bubbles, you have what's called bubble solution, which is made out of soap and usually glycerin so that the bubbles stay longer, like dish soap. And then you have what's called a wand. You have to take a breath in really deep because you want to blow all the solution off the wand. And then you watch as the bubbles just go and pop, and you just breathe naturally. And we like to do things in 3, so I'm going to do it a second time. So you breathe in, dip your solution, and then blow out. One last time. We're going to breathe in and out. And breathe naturally while they pop. Now, if you don't have actual bubbles, you have to imagine them floating and falling and then sitting on the ground or whatever they land on and then popping. All right? That was so awesome. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I look forward to sharing Friday with you, one more calendar day, and then coming back and revisiting these again and again and again and again until you know everything that we've talked about. You've learned it all, put it all in your schema, and you can reach in and pull it out upon demand. So until later, I'll see you face to face in class and later on a video. Goodbye, Super Smarties. Have a great day of learning. Make green choices. Super teachers